The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Previously on Darkeport.
Episode 16. Geramentum finds a measure of peace restored after the efforts of Titus, and especially Marcus, to move forward. Weisa brings information that her mentor, Publia, left to her over 2 moons ago, to Catryn. The information eventually makes its way to the rest of the Fellowship, the final resting place of a fully geared Jason Tenderheart, perhaps the mightiest chosen to ever walk the world of Terra. Merrick begins to see the deep toll the events of the battle and the loss of Granny Dewshine have exacted not only on him, but also his beloved wife Jasmine and his community writ large. A newly reinstated Centurion Leptis finds Merrick, bringing him to the sparring pit and then soundly thrashing him as the consequence of his public degrading of Lord Titus's dignitas. Afterward, Merrick is called into Lady Livia's office. She presents him a commendation for extraordinary bravery during the Battle of the Broken Tower, and also a promise of her own. Should Merrick ever publicly undermine the rightful lord and leader of Geramentum again, she'll have him whipped and then exiled from the city. An unusual visitor appears with the latest ship from Leptis Regium, one Indra Starstep. She is the right hand of Lady Vale, and has come looking for her erstwhile mistress. Weisa, Titus, and the rest of the Fellowship take her off guard with the warmth of their welcome, and she eventually delivers, among other things, a scroll from the Emperor's own hand. The scroll is to Lady Vale. Titus keeps it in trust upon her return. In a private moment, Titus elevates Weisa to his own house advisor, pinning on her badge of station with his own hands. Marcus and his family invite Merrick and much of his seppu, the smallest Kithgi social unit, to a large and lively dinner. At this dinner, Jasmine leans over and whispers something into the true cleric's ear.
Welcome back, friends, curiosity seekers, and connoisseurs of fantasy everywhere. Thank you for once more joining us here in the Port of Dark. We appreciate your time and your attention and your continued support. It means the world to us. In that vein, we still have, of course, Eldritch Foundry along for the ride, thankfully, supporting us with their excellent figurines. And we're going to do an old school, kind of having a bit of a throwback tonight. We're going to do an old school trivia question. Tatiana, if you can keep me honest in case they start wandering, and that'll be right at intermission. And You can either, some of y'all might already just off the top of your head know the answer. If you don't, it is on that one it's going to be first come first serve, but we're working on stuff where it'll be worth your while to look it up on our evolving Wikipedia. So the information is going to be there pretty much for all the trivia questions that we do henceforth. We're still thinking about exactly what that looks like, but we'll come up with something. And that's, I am told reliably, that is over at darkeport.com/wiki, or if you go to darkeport.com, you can look at it under the community tab. And that what do we decide? Our fabulous or fantastic? It was fabulous.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was our both. Fantastic. It was both. I mean, really. we can never heap enough praise. We can never heap enough praise on Tobias here.
Double F.
So, our fantastic assistant producer put a lot of. He likes to downplay it, but it was a lot of effort to get that wiki up and running, and now we can add to it. So we'll see how we can get more folks in on adding to it, because that's the kind of the strength of a wiki, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Just a quick reminder, we also have a Discord channel, and I've posted some stuff on there as well. It's not as comprehensive, obviously, as the wiki, but there's like a little spoilers page on there that the players don't have access to if you want to look at some of the stuff.
Didn't know. What?
There. I know. I'm usually pretty sneaky about that, but yeah, and that's you can poke around there. It's pretty funny. I'm still figuring out that space myself, and of course we have actually I'll save that until we light the candle. I want to give a shout out to our dear friends over at Constructed Chaos, Alex, our GM, the speaking of fantastic humans, the remarkably talented person who's kind of a one-man show over there with his crew. The great energy over there, lots of hijinks. Go check them out. And they're getting into in that story, because I followed that story pretty closely too. So they're getting into deeper water. At some point in March, yours truly will be over there with them, and that'll be a whole lot of fun. As a guest star, Alex and I are putting our little fever brains together to come up with something entertaining and hopefully pretty impactful. And that's as you know, if this is your first time coming here and you're used to a whole bunch of warm up, that's not how we do things here. I like to deliver the news and move on, because this is as a Marine of my acquaintance would like to remind me, daylight's burning, Doc. In this case, even though sun's already set. And as we prep for the Candle of Tales here, this is going to be the last night for this little independent candle, this little wayward youth over here, because we have cantrip candles in the wings. I'm delighted for that. That really that'll be great to have in the room. But I don't want to give this poor little guy a short shrift. So let's go ahead and light the candle.
The Candle of Tales.
Last time for you.
Oh, little baby.
It's upset.
It knows.
It knows it's upset.
It's spitting back at you.
For those of you who aren't aware, whenever we this is only be the second candle that we retire, Anika writes the date on it, and we have the original up there, and then we're going to just kind of keep a lineup. I'm Moon and Cancer. I'm really nostalgic that way, so I like to see the progression. It's nice.
I love it.
Oh, and that brings us, friends, to another, no doubt, excellent journal entry. I've gotten this question once or twice now. I do not actually read the journal entries beforehand, because I think it's important that my reaction be genuine, just like the players. So I don't actually know each week and what's in store. I love being surprised.
Yay!
What do you got for us, baby?
Okay, it's a journal entry from Weisa.
It's Weisa's perspective, yeah.
What's Weisa thinking? Okay. I've always been sure of myself ever since I can remember. It is so strange to be a child and have elders look at you as if you are their superior. To know that I was chosen while others were not. This was my youth, my home full of servants and relics of grandeur, my dignitas already alight. The question was never, what would she do, or even when? There was no question. I was born to rise. I didn't know then that I would leave my home and find a place so different from everything I knew. I couldn't have predicted Publia and everything she would teach me. Although I have gone from living in a palace to a corner in a bakery, the light of my birthright has never been extinguished. Even in times where it seemed I only had embers to hold on to, there truly was nothing that could put out the force of my bloodline. So why does this new appointment as Lord Titus's advisor feel so incredibly humbling? It was almost impossible to maintain eye contact with him when he shared this news. A different me would have happily and eagerly accepted the obvious position, but now I am more than a daughter of nobility. I am a conduit of my own destiny. My choices and sweat have created this moment, and Germentum is not a palace to luxuriate in, but a precious garden to tend to, whose fruits will not bear harvest unless I stay sharp, keen, and clear, and so I shall.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, as always. Never doing another entry. No.
You killed your Stoddy. You're fine. You're fine.
You're next.
Yeah, you're next.
I'm sleepy.
Titus has joined the journal rotation. Okay.
I have two things I can't open in.
Gosh. Okay. Yeah. So he's about there right now. Little last minute mechanics. Nilishli. These past, you have actually lost track. There we are of the days since the battle. You know it has been some time. You know that the thread of Griffon's life force is once more reweaving and thickening when it hung by. Actually, the thread had snapped, and you know that whatever deep primordial magics Weisa invoked in what was to be his final moment prevented that. Until you tell me, unless you tell me that you tell him, he does not necessarily know that, because you don't know it, and you don't know what his experience was of it either. Perhaps he knows on some deep bone level, maybe not. This man has surprised you before.
I think, just to add there, I think Nilishli did tell him that Weisa kind of used.
You did. Okay, you did. You did tell him. All right, I'm gonna pick up there then. So you're in this field hospital. More and more people are starting to leave as the days go by. They don't need it anymore. They're strong enough to travel. You don't really have a means of comparison. But you do get a sense that they seem to be happily surprised, particularly the humans that were here. They actually this is going to be hard for you because you don't have much comparison, but make a medicine check and see if you can kind of get, die 20.
Die 20.
You got it.
Says it right there.
We're doing another thing here. We're going to get it. We're going to do the thing. I'm going to get you.
Still pretty good.
That's really good. 17.
17?
Booyah.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not -2 because medicine's based on intelligence, yeah?
Is it?
Medicine's wisdom.
Or is it wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
Oh, my bad.
Medicine's
It is.
wisdom, yeah.
Okay, for some reason I had that in my
Yeah,
head.
still -2, 17.
Okay. High enough. So this couldn't come from past experience, but rather you're seeing as the loved ones are reunited, as people are cleared to go, or they just get up and walk out and they thank the Kithgi healers that have tended them so masterfully, really. And there's a mention, and it's not from one of the lifelong residents of Germentum, but one of the men that you know came from some other place. And he talks about how essentially sickbed usually means deathbed, but once they survive the initial injuries, essentially everybody there seems to recover and then leave. You don't know what to expect with Griff, but it seems to be taking him a long time to heal, to mend. The trend is always up, but you know how quickly you recover from things, and it maybe is a little surprising to you. Maybe not. So he's leaning back in his cot, He's got the bandages, more and more of the bandages he's taken off, but the great wounds around the trunk and, of course, through his center point remain and are raw. He's leaning up. He's moved his cot over as more and more space became available to where one of the poles is, because he likes to do this thing of lounging back, even if it's against the hard pole. He's not from the waist up. He's not wearing anything, just the bandages. He's pretty furry, and you can see there are a plethora. There is a saga of scars on him, of old wounds that have healed, but are there. None of them seem to impede him, or if they do, he doesn't mention it. But you just, especially in the moments where you catch him turning on his back, it looks like just a angry hornet's nest of hatch marks, some long, some quick and sharp. He does not explain them. All right, Nilly. Say that again. Weisa joined herself to me.
Aye.
Used her chosen essence, her life force, her heart's blood.
I do not know what kind of magic this is, but I can tell you that she saved your life.
Damn it. I never would have put that girl in that kind of... All right, I need to thank her.
Yes, I think so.
Is she recovered?
Aye, in full health.
Quickly?
I believe so.
I've seen a lot of different things in a lot of different places. I've never heard of an ability like that, not once.
No, compared to my rage and death that seems to surround me, that type of medicine seems welcome.
About that, he carefully rolls out of the cot, checking himself, seeing what his limits are. Need to start sparring again soon. Can't get too stiff. He looks over at you. Starts like a slow pace, almost like a lion. Occasionally looking back over at you, more often looking at the Kithgi healers or at the ever-dwindling amount of other people still in the hospital. You know, for a good while, I was up in the northern expanse. There are people there. They're called the Khel. Wonderful, passionate, dangerous people. Beautiful. A lot of them look like the Dewshine's clan here of these Kithgi, with hair of sun and eyes of ice. They run a little taller, and actually pretty average size there. They have amongst their people, there's a lot I could tell you about the Khel. I used to speak their tongue pretty well. It's a little rusty now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something I should teach you too, in case you ever find yourself up there. There probably aren't too many. I know this is considered north for old Empire folk, but to them, this is the south. Thank you. One of the healers nods, hands him a glass, wood, mug, drinks. Any road. The reason I'm bringing them up is they have warriors there. Fierce, tough sons of bitches. Even some of the women. And these warriors aren't... The Myrmidon here are pretty good, organized, dedicated. But they fight with everything that they are. And some of them achieve a state that translates to, well, you'd call them berserkers. They have different names for it. I'm actually not sure. That's not doing it justice. There's a poetry You know how the Kithgi here talk about food and comfort?
Aye.
Imagine a language that's that rich with ways to describe anger and joy and love and hate.
Are you telling me this because you witnessed me lose myself?
He takes a step closer to you, and he puts his hand almost fiercely over yours and grabs it. I'm telling you this because every goddamn choice I make is my choice. Rage doesn't scare me. Not yours, not theirs, none of it. It is what it is. I knew what I was doing. I couldn't let you. You had to see another tomorrow. You're still so fucking young. You have to see more of this world. I've seen plenty.
It's me like a slow little fragment of a tear that kind of makes its way down her face.
You hear him swallow. And in that moment, that weird way that he has with mana, wild and unpredictable, and yes, dangerous, so different from Catryn's precise and measured approach. You can feel it join the two of you on some level, and you just get a glimpse of a time and a place, a much younger Griffon. Has a little bit of scraggle. He's still somewhere in his early 20s, probably. And it's cold, and he's laughing, and there's blood everywhere, and it's a battle. They taught me to embrace that part of myself, and it served me damn well, Nilishli.
Well, how do I best embrace that part of myself?
He looks at Winter's Harvest. For you, if you were a woman born of womb, maybe I'd hazard a guess. We need to think about this. You need to find that place in yourself. You need to be master, not tool.
Aye.
You're so powerful. But you have an innocence to you as well. And I want you to keep that as long as you can. Because once it's gone, baby, it's gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for losing control of myself and that it hurt you.
Nothing to apologize for. I was exactly where I wanted to be.
She kind of like blushes, looks down, maybe one more tear.
This time, he reaches up and he brushes it off. Gives your hand a squeeze, leans in and gives you a surprisingly tender, just light kiss on the cheek, and then lets your hand go and steps back.
She like puts her hand on her cheek, kind of confused.
Okay, so we will briefly leave them. We may well return. Actually, I say that. Is there anything that Nilishli was burning to do since?
Yeah, actually.
There is? Okay. Because I want to catch you up because there have been some shenanigans.
Yeah. She, in between the time that Griff was healing and there's moments when he was dozing off, obviously long moments of that, there was kind of an extreme sense of guilt that she felt about what happened with Winter's Harvest. And there were moments that she took to the glade, the Kithgi glade. I'm assuming it was untouched during the battle.
The glade, the glade that was over
where
there.
the golem's at?
Yeah. No, Golem's gone.
No.
Golem's gone.
Okay, no, that's not what I meant. No, I meant like not the glade. It's not the right. The where all the Kithgi homes. There's like
the arbor.
Arbor. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure.
So she took Winter's Harvest to the arbor.
Speaking of the arbor.
Yay.
I need to remember. I have to remember this stuff. So this is for those of you faraway friends who haven't seen this in a while. These are markers, location markers, essentially to show what the level of population is there, because sometimes it's difficult or tiresome to keep describing things. So this is semi-public. This is medium. This one's the marketplace, and that's full. That's like basically you're in public, and then this one of Catryn Catryn alone is the basically in private.
Always alone.
Always alone. I mean, to be fair, it's in a ruin. It's in ruins. Too,
yeah,
so,
that's true. That's
but
true.
anyway, this is semi-private. So that is to show that there are some people around, but not necessarily paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm. The Arbor.
The Arbor. Yes,
so
ma'am.
she did quite a number of times take Winter's Harvest to the Arbor, found a secluded, quiet place, and was kind of speaking with Winter's Harvest, giving voice to her guilt and experiencing quite a high level of regret about the fact that she can enter a rage, actually. There's resistance towards it.
It's a lot to figure out there for her.
Yeah.
Okay. You know its power, and now you know its danger. Very good. So that's going on. Couple other things, but I'm gonna let you all decide because there's a lot going on. Who wants the initiative? Who's next?
The initiative.
Who
I'll
wants
take it if nobody else does.
Okay, all right. I know you. I know Marcus has stuffs to do.
I got shit to do.
Okay.
Do it, Kate.
So the first thing, after spending the night with my family, talking to Servilius about Octavia's apprenticeship with Weisa. She's mine.
Yes.
And see what he has to say about it. Well, you want to run that in character, or just let you know what happened?
Let's just resolve that with a quick persuasion check with advantage.
23.
Really?
Didn't get it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, 20.
Hello.
20? Okay.
20s.
Okay. He's delighted. He's there might have been a little bit of fear there, mainly just because your brother didn't really understand what you were talking about, but you carefully, patiently explain it to him, and then as soon as he understands, okay, it's not dangerous, it's not bloody, then there was no baking and pollux can have a very different connotation for what, because if people go out to try to get harpiche eggs and stuff like that, because there is no baker in pollux.
Understood.
So you explain that, and then so he's in.
Perfect. Right after that conversation, have a conversation with Livius about the potential of being a squire to Lord Titus. See what he has to say. And basically just lay it out. This is twice now. This is twice now that you've actually gone to a fight of your own volition, and it's important that you know how to do it. He's one of the best on now.
What's the light say?
You glowed with the light. What's it say to you?
Don't know, Father.
Huh? Let's just try it for a bit and see what happens. But if you're going to be in this fight, you need to be knowing how to protect yourself. You can't just go on willy-nilly.
Not me I'm worried about.
Well, we are.
It's because you're my paw.
You're my son. That's the reason I want the best for you. So, we take it on with the Titus and see what he has to say.
He want it?
Do I? Oh, he said he'd be agreed to it. As long as you were. But he wants to talk to you about it first, of course.
He's a lord and such.
Always address him as such.
Domine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right. So we're going to go and we're going to drop off Octavia to Weisa's, then we're going to go right on over to the keep and see if he is willing to accept us and at least talk to us. All things to do.
All right.
And off we go.
And off. I'm trying to find the map of your kin. Was it Octavia or was it Quinta that was smitten?
It was Octavia.
That was smitten with her. Okay.
It was Octavia.
Okay. Can you confirm? Mm-hmm. Can you confirm it was Octavia? Okay. You had several like small young girl fans coming out of that group. So I wanted to make sure, because I am, believe it or not, I am trying to keep track of those the rather expansive cast of Kith and Kin. All right, Octavia. So, y'all head. You need to see. It's always interesting to look at this map upside down. I want to make sure this is realistic. Yeah, because I imagine this. I imagine those conversations were quite early, probably right after you agreed to the dawn. Mm-hmm. So, are you that morning though? Are you doing
probably the night before
devotions?
With that in mind, because we were talking about meeting up with her at the morning time. When we were like, "Can you meet up with you in the morning after devotion?"
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So probably the night before, while we were having family dinner, I would talk to all of them about it.
Okay. Sure.
And then before dawn, get them to their places.
Okay, so you're waking up early then, which is
we always
which
wake
is
up
fine.
early,
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, enough to get Octavia to the bakery, and then, which is good because she doesn't know it yet. But the unglamorous part of being part of the bakery crew is you get to wake up at the ass crack of dawn. So,
Yeah, bake stuff.
you get to wake up before anybody else is up. Okay, so you drop her off, and she's. Yeah, I guess we should at least give a little quick nod to that scene. So you're up already.
Tap tap tap.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Welcome. I'm kind of being cordial but tired.
Bit early on now. Well, we got devotion, so I want to get her on over here and see what you think.
Is it the pretty lady?
It's the pretty lady. She's going to teach you how to talk real pretty.
And she's doing that thing that children do sometimes where they're just swaying.
Put my hand on her head. Just kidding.
like horses, like horses or cattle, sleeping, standing up.
Oh, so cute.
So Octavia, her father loves the idea. I don't think she actually knows what's going on just yet, but
Okay.
I think she's going to be amazing for her.
I think she is
And
too.
likewise for her.
She is too. Welcome.
Do I get to smell pretty?
Absolutely, darling. You get to eat tasty treats as part of your
She's starting to wake up.
relationship. But I will need your support.
Okay, if I can give it, if it's mine, I'll give it to you. I will. Or you have a dog.
Aye, this is Maya.
And Maya's still very sleepy and just kind of looks up with one eye.
We take a little bit of time to rise, just like the treats. But make yourself comfortable.
Huh?
I'm not going to give you a ton of work on your first day.
The treats wake up?
Actually, yes. With the warmth of the oven. The warmth of the fire.
Exactly. I'm going to kneel in front of her. Octavia.
Her eyes get big as saucers.
Over here.
It takes her a second to shake her head.
Now, I want you to be very good. Do everything Miss Weisa has to say, okay?
I'm always good, Uncle Marcus.
I believe you, and I know that. Just prove it today. I love you very much. That's right.
I love you too.
Now, off you go.
I'm picturing you kneeling. Were you kneeling? Yeah. She throws her arms around your neck and gives you a big little wiggle.
Yeah, wiggle her back. Throw her up in the air a little bit, and then off you go now.
Wake now. Yeah.
Okay, show me. She's going in and just starting to be, an excited young girl.
Yeah. I
Even
show
though she's
her
tired.
this flour, this meat, this sprinkle, the broom.
Precious nutmeg that only comes from Germentum.
Yum.
That's one of your major exports, actually. Quite valuable. Although in your whole time, in 3 winters, you've never had you've never had a theft in the bakery.
Like you could kill them.
It's just not.
Like they just
They're all
gang up
dead
and
in the
murder
back.
them.
They're in the walls.
Mrs. Weisa's beef pies.
Oh God. No, that's a different campaign.
Oh, yeah, not this one.
That is a different campaign.
Not again.
So
No Sweeney time.
we have that, and as you're so that's good, Randy. As you're walking, you think you spy. Once I get my eyeballs really well, and then I may have to retcon this a bit, but I think it's realistic. So depending on which way you get to the keep, You do see, it looks like a light in the Sojourner's temple. So not unprecedented, not bizarre for somebody to be up before dawn, although dawn is fast approaching. But usually you would see Beacon Gaius bustling about, getting ready for his, because all three of the orders have some sort of greeting of the dawn. Mm-hmm. It's quite different with the three. But he's not out there yet. Mm-hmm. And neither of his attendants is out there yet either.
But there is a light inside of the temple, though?
Yeah, specifically, because you would know, and the temples aren't huge or anything. It's a room, and then the back room where he sleeps. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a small room where the attendants all communally sleep. I can't has English, really, I can. And,
I can have that too.
And you see through the cracks in his shutter, in his room shutter, that he's still in his room as opposed to being out.
To come back to that role.
Okay. You get Livius. Oh, no, of course, Livius would have like probably mussed the hair of his cousin or something, cousin of Octavius, because you brought Livius with you as well, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. The guards give you a salute. What little there is. Actually, that is a good question. You currently have a military force of about a dozen.
They'd be at every single one of they wouldn't be guarding the keep.
They would not be at the keep.
Yeah,
okay.
They would mostly just be at any type of watch or any entrance.
At the main gate, and because this is 24/7 now, and what Leptis Major did is his conscripts, I shouldn't say conscripts, his recruits, are at the smaller portal toward the beach, fishery, like that, because that's a much more manageable watch, and he's showing them you don't have to manipulate the gate, two at a time, etc.
Yeah, more seasons at the main gate, absolutely.
So he's showing them that and trying to get them ready for that, and then to accede with your wishes, he's also having them basically running them through the 132 torch requirement that you laid down. But he's cheating a bit. I mean, you know this. Yeah. He's cheating a bit because he's having boys from his shop come and basically sit here while some of them are down at Yulia's watch and going through the 132 torches, and then as they time out, basically sending them.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So never mind. You do not get saluted by any of the Myrmidon because they are busy manning the main gate. So instead, you pound on the gate. You have one of the scullery maids that you've disturbed come on out, and she does not look happy. She's got a shawl. You realize that she's probably used to sleeping in the relative comfort of the keep, not out here.
Mm-hmm. Does she have a candle on?
Yeah.
Okay, what's a
little dark to see right now. Let me see. I'll roll. Love. Huh. Yeah.
Morning.
Ave.
We have...
Morning it is.
It is quickly coming. Was wondering if the Domine had a moment to speak with me and my son. He knows we are coming.
He does?
We knew of last night. As of last night, he did.
All right. Come on then.
Thank you.
You're the bloke that you were on the temple steps, yeah?
That was me.
The other day. Did you? She shuts the gate behind, and she does, even though she has to struggle with it, she does get the...
I help her.
Get the bar, okay.
I help her.
Even before you, Livia dashes over there and grabs it. Oh, thank you. Did you really, and she's walking you to the keep, light that pillar with thorns? Pleasure?
I think Thorn lighted that pillar with me.
She just touches her candle of faith and doesn't...
Does mine as well.
Doesn't say anything. She's silent for the rest of the trip across the courtyard. lets you inside of the keep, and she has to beat, and somebody else is not happy to be woken. Because usually they're guards, they're Myrmidon, dealing with all of the security and entry, and now Livia has conscripted, and I will use that word with this, the household people to be barring and opening doors. And you hear some grousing. I ain't no damn Myrmidon going on. Because they don't really recognize you as a big figure in the city. You look like one of them, so you hear some grousing that Titus and Livia are never going to hear. And you get in there. You were in this hall not too long ago, and now just yesterday, you wend your way up.
Yeah, as you're walking through, you are going to hear a ah, and it's going to be coming from the kitchen, and that's where Titus is at this moment. So.
Sounds like my lord's already up.
Figure he might be.
Oh, damn it. Yeah.
That's him. Up and at him. And she kind of motions you. Just there.
I'm going to pause at the door and put my hand on my son's shoulder, give him a reaffirming, just encouraging squeeze as we go on in. Remember, it's Domine.
He gives you his big, beautiful smile and says, I ain't scared.
I didn't think you tassel his head, push him in.
Okay.
Go on.
You go through, and this door is just essentially one of the very, very few swinging doors in Geramentum, because there's too much activity in and out of the kitchen. Plus, when you were a kid, you broke the door and it never got repaired. Yep. So they just turned it into a swinging. We played through some of that. And you were an absolute hellion.
After I fought with the kitchen maid.
With the kitchen maid, yes.
Just stand back, dear dragon. Yeah, so I guess as you're walking in, you're going to see Rutilius kind of sitting up, and he's just kind of like giving directions to Titus on cooking. And he's going to have Jerem completely passed out, and he's like trying to make breakfast for them three, and like for Livia and anybody else and all that. So he's up and ready, but he's just like,
doing things.
Yep. Yeah, my
You're your best Martha Stewart.
Yep. Just doing whatever a single father can do. Yeah.
That is freaking adorable. Okay.
And I want Rutilius to be like, no, you're doing it. It's just like, I understand. You're like just yelling at each other.
And I'm a me GM, so make a cooking roll at disadvantage.
Yes.
Cooking roll, because you have no idea what you're doing.
Cooking.
18.
Oh, okay.
And 9.
Okay, all right.
Hopefully Rutilius guiding me.
Some divine entity guides your hand, and you have no idea how the flapjacks came out as well as they did. Rutilius was giving you some babble about listening to them speak and that their bubbles were their
Enough
voices.
poetry, old man. Yeah, he's like yelling back at him.
And you're just like,
tell me what to do. Yeah.
and yet, there's a bit of flour. There's some eggs. You did not waste any though.
Yeah, but he is covered.
You're covered in mess. You see several of the chickens have sensed that there's a opportunity here, and they've clucked and slipped their way into the kitchen and are looking around for flour and grain right now. You haven't even noticed the chickens, but the chickens, they're not supposed to be in the kitchen because they're little opportunistic scavengers.
To get the eggs out entirely.
Top of the morning, Ave Domini, and he kind of does this painfully awkward bow, kneel, wiggle thing.
Ave Domini.
Ave Marcus. Looks like we'll have to remedy that bow. It's more of a salute. I hear that you're interested in joining our ranks. And then I'm going to take off Jerem and give him to Rutilius and be like, start cleaning myself off and just...
Rutilius is still pretty battered and tender, so he carefully takes Jerem.
Yeah. So I hear you're interested in joining our ranks.
If it means I can help you, yeah. Is that the right way to say it?
Marcus, would you mind tending the kitchen? I'm gonna have a word with your son. And I'll walk him out to the kind of main area coming in.
That confidence, the basic tenor of this young man, which is brave and stalwart, seems to wilt a little bit as he gets into undecidedly unfamiliar territory in the dark keep hallway. He goes with you though.
So Livius, why do you want to join? Why do you want to fight?
The light told me to.
But what do you tell yourself?
You look up. He looks up. He looks up at you. You see there's steel in his eyes suddenly, from whence you're not entirely sure. When I was running, north, always north, there wasn't time to think, just to do. I don't have the words, but this is what I'm to do.
So your heart brought you here. You've fought bravely, and you've seen death. I wish I could say you won't see any more, but I know that I cannot promise that. To become my squire, you'll first have to enlist in the Myrmidons under Leptis Major and his conscriptions. You'll have to do every single one of the exact same things that those boys are doing. After your initial training, we'll see about you coming on and being my squire. If you're ever interested in sparring, if you feel you're up to it, and if I have the time, I'm more than happy to help. With that being said, you must start the ranks with everyone else. And another thing, never interrupt a lord. That's not just me. That's for any of them. Some aren't as kind as we are here in Intermission.
I understand.
The 132 people lost their lives not even a fortnight ago. You have to stand watch for 132 hours at Yulia's watch. After those are completed and I have the permission by Leptis Major, sparring is when I will beat the shit out of you. You will learn.
He does smile, but he also puffs his chest out. I'll tell you, if this kid is supposed to be 13 winters, he's going to be a biggin.
No, I am. I'm proud of you for asking and wanting to do this. We are going to need a lot more. And I'm going to lean in and like put my hand on his shoulder and be like, men like you.
Another flash in his eye. Maybe something even more than just him. And then he bows his head. Should I go now?
Well, you might die if you eat my breakfast, but I'd like to have you be your first official order as the squire is to taste test it for me. And let's go see about your father. And then we'll go back in.
Okay. He looks puzzled.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like, oh shit.
This kid, I mean, through most of this, yeah, his eyes were pretty wide, but there were moments where you knew you were connecting. All right, that's where we'll leave that for now.
There's one more thing I wanted to do while he's out having a talk. I told Rutilius I'd keep trying with him to see if I can heal him.
It's not coming.
It's not coming at all?
Nope.
Okay.
And he's 1,000 years old, Marcus. Sometimes dinosaurs need to go back to the earth.
Dang.
I look over at Rutilius and I'm like, love you. Yeah.
He knows it's
That's our entire relationship, is me making fun of him. And then apologizing and saying it.
As you are in the kitchen,
because everything happens.
There's this. There's the pad of soft feet coming in from one of the inner doors, or actually inner, not even a door, just inner doorway. And you see the somewhat more casually dressed form of Indra Starstep enter in. She gives, this is before you had, this is before, when you were out in the hallway. She had walked in. She gives Rutilius a full formal bow, although you probably are keen enough to know that even though you were raised in Pollux, that she does not drop down to both knees. When she does that, it's just a deep, sustained bow.
From one equal to another, as Major Domo?
You can make an insight check if you like. It'll be a high DC for you because you are not aware of these things.
I got a natural 20.
Yay!
Oh, hot.
Not high enough.
Somehow, somewhere.
You see a glimpse. What you see is a glimpse behind her carefully calculated mask, where she is making fine-grained decisions and calculations about how to move. And you think it runs something, even with a nat 20, there are pieces of it that you don't know, that you can't know. But it looks like she's making the calculation. He is a seneschal, so he is not a major doma the way that she is. He is responsible for an entire city. Against that, she is enormously proud of her mistress, Lady Vale, and the ancient blood that redoubtable warrior represents. So when she bows to him, she is giving him the full respect as the companion of as the lifelong companion of the old lion. First and foremost, and then as to city. And you know, with the nat 20, you would know that she is not going to drop to her knees except with patricians. So she does have the staff across her back, that weird two-piece staff across her back. And as you walk in, then she goes into that same very graceful obeisance. She doesn't even say anything at first. She just drops and waits for you to address her and head down to the cold stones.
Ave, Indra, please stand up.
Ave comes back up with that uncanny grace. I did not expect to see you this soon, Domini.
Well, someone had to cook. And apparently I'm pretty good at it. And I kind of dart eyes back and forth to like everybody.
She looks. Yeah. If you would like, of course, I will take up the.
You'd like to cook?
I am proficient in it, and it seems.
It's like 2 chefs in the kitchen, but if you insist. Yeah. Okay. Sound like, oh, thank God.
You don't need, and she looks horrified that you are doing manual labor.
We're kind of on a skeleton crew of the city. And I love to cook. Right, Rutilis? Yeah, it's like...
Absolutely, Domini. Yes. So good
down to earth, man.
So good you are. Actually, you did rather well once you saw how the eggs came out.
And Livius, are you feeling okay? Yeah. Delicious.
I mean, he's a huge 13-year-old boy. He's just gonna eat whatever. He's gonna scarf down whatever's.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big pot of grub.
We're used to gruel. Yeah.
Let's see, Catryn. I'm gonna briefly come over to you, and essentially you're. Actually, you tell me. Are you at the hut this morning, or did you sleep in one of the side rooms like that have kind of unofficially your quarters now?
So she's doing something.
Or something else.
Really weird.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Me?
She's cooking breakfast.
Because she's also
with Ignum.
It looks so cool. Just like out. No, so she actually looks put together today because because she was forced to take a bath, and so her hair isn't crazy. It's kind of pulled up in a tighter bun.
A tighter bun, okay.
Who is she? And she is actually having a moment outside of the Kithgi healing hall. So she's sitting and kind of hiding and looking across the street.
Okay.
And she has a notebook out, and she is actually drawing, which is something that she typically doesn't do. But she had a moment with Titus when when the burials were happening, and she didn't want to go out, and she feels guilty, and now she is contemplating why. And she's taking the moment to figure herself out.
Wow, okay. And what's across the way that she's staring at?
Across the way is her family's hut.
Yep. Okay. The hut is dark.
The hut.
It's typically, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, it's also early as hell.
Yeah.
So,
God, Doc. This is funny because I now have to tell you about something that was going on in the backdrop of my mind. I did not expect anybody to be near the healing hall. So as you're saying...
Yeah.
Win.
Secret content.
I win.
That was clue. Happened to be in the library.
Part of the session.
I love this for me.
You see a surprising amount of Kithgi healers. So the healing hall is always staffed. There's always a pair of healers in there, day or night. Rain or shine, doesn't matter. But you see a pair, then another pair, then a trio, and they're not coming in from the same direction either. Because remember that the healing hall is open on all four of the cardinal directions. Practically to help people come in and out, also to symbolize that it's open to all. And you see more and more of these healers until you have basically whomever is not in the field hospital, which is, you would wager 3-4 days away from being dissolved, probably. So it's close. People are recovering. Griff is actually going to be one of the last people to leave. You think that that's pretty much every Kithgi healer in the city has arrived at the healing hall.
How many can she see? How many, or
that are left? I should say like official healers that would staff the healing hall. So you're probably looking, minus who you lost, you're probably looking at about close to 200 of them. Remembering, I know that's a high ratio, but that the Kithgi have an unusually high percentage of healers to general population, much more than humans would.
Yeah.
And a lot of these healers double duty too. So, you know, they're healers, but they're also masons, or they're healers, but they're also leather workers, or like that, you know. So you even though you've lived here your whole life, you might actually learn like, oh, I thought he just did ceramics. Like you are seeing people gathering once you determine that's the common thread. In the center, and this is not the usual Kithgi boisterous, you know, celebration. There's an air of solemnity to this as they gather. Are you going to continue to sketch kind of across the way, or are you going to poke your head in at some point? You know, either way is fine.
She won't poke her head in because she is kind of focused, but okay. I think she will kind of just listen if anything were to be said. But that is kind of an interesting amount of healers to be together.
Especially like right by the time they finish gathering, it's like right at dawn.
Right. So I think she'll be sketching and she'll look up, but I think she'll just be listening.
Okay. Make a perception roll, and this is going to be on a grade. Sliding scale.
Ooh. 23.
Okay. So you dial in. You set part of your mind to sketching, and then you immediately hear the dulcet tones of Granny Dewshine break the silence. Damn, and you're even like a native speaker at Ilocana, too.
Suckers!
Wouldn't you like to know?
I got this many languages.
See, Donnie, you're not the only person who gets put on. You're not the only person that gets put on the spot. So, not so very long ago, with the mothers, and you can hear her struggling in there. You can feel her. There's some murmurs, a few sounds of, "We hold the space holds you," and a few people, like almost a soft chant in Ilocana. It makes more sense in their tongue. "We hold the space, and the space holds you. We hold the space, and the space holds you." These last days and nights have been very hard. And I need to know this morning, sisters and brothers, beloved, Sepu, Tirak, all of you. Tirak would be like colleagues. All of you. You know what happened in the field hospital. You know how I took the threads of the Mother's grace. I took the power of the Magna Mater, and I used it to harm. Nay, I used it to kill. I perverted a sacred trust in that moment, and that is something that I will live with for the rest of my extended life. Part of me wanted to leave. Just leave and go back to the Shires. And there are some, no. There's some cries of horror in there, and even some angry, how could you do that to us? You hear her just struggle for a while in there. Actually, like a minute or two, flicker or two goes by. And then the soft chant, we hold the space and the space holds you. We hold the space and the space holds you. Our ways are not the ways of the humans, called by some of you Dyrathi. I find it an ugly word, but I understand why you use it. I am compassionate. I am not blind, nor deaf, and only sometimes dumb. But there must be a reckoning. What I did is unforgivable. I want you to know, from me to all of you here, no matter what happens, no matter how dire we think the need is, or they think the need is, I will never pervert what she has given me that way again. Never. Not for my life, not for your lives, not for their lives, because it was wrong, and that wrongness will echo through all of eternity in this place. It has been the greatest privilege of my life to be chief healer of Geramentum. The cautious, diffident girl that I was in the Shires couldn't even have imagined the adventures I've been on. And if that act has disqualified me from that position, I need to know now, and I bear you no ill will or judgment, if that is your best reckoning. And I ask, sisters and brothers, Seppu, and more, if that is in your hearts, as I have heard murmurs of discontent and even horror dogging me, leave the hall. If you still think that I can re-earn your faith in me, then stay. I will see what the bulk decides, and I will abide by it.
So, I was thinking of something earlier.
And
kind of ruined my stuff.
There are a few of them who know that you're skulking out there.
What?
But most of them...
I'm busy.
Most of them... Sure. Most of them are, just oblivious to what's going on outside. Their whole focus on determining... She is the last Granny in the city. There were only 2 of them. And that's where I'll leave that for a bit as they decide that, and you hear them inside of there. And to use a potentially loaded word, you begin to hear them caucusing inside of the healing hall. They're taking this seriously, and it's not immediately clear which way the wind is going to blow, one to the other. All right, I'm going to move forward a bit because I do want to get into this day. And Merrick, what time do you wake up?
Really earlier, and I was showing Donnie I wanted to go talk to Granny Dewshine because she's kind of in a similar situation that I'm in.
First note.
But it depends on if I have orders. I just need to understand the context of my ability to choose what I want to do versus duty right now, but I'm getting up very early.
Because the city's hierarchy has been shattered, Corey, with only a few touchstones. No, I should say, not shattered, but mauled, but still somewhat intact. You don't have the normal contours. Like, for example, you know the defensive patrols like the back of your hand?
Yeah.
There are no defensive patrols right now. You know what the shifts are in your sleep at the gates. And there are no, right now, all of that's out the window.
Skeleton crew.
So you're somewhat, it's a skeleton crew, and you're somewhat at, not to say it's at loose ends is not accurate because the city desperately needs every able-bodied Myrmidon right now, but nothing is quote-unquote normal.
I wanted to actually go talk to Granny on a number of notes.
Well, then you see this congregation, you see this pre-dawn congregation happening, and you hear that. You are not a healer, and they will not bar your way because that's anathema to the Kithgi, but they also, some of them may nod to you, but that's it. I mean, they're focused on what's going on right now because they have to determine if they still have confidence in her.
Would taking her private ruin this ritual at probably the time?
Impossible right now.
Yeah, so I'm not going to... I will look over at her. I'm not sure if she's perceptive enough to even see me.
I have disadvantage on that right now. She looks up briefly. You can see tears. Her eyes are red from crying, no current tears. She gives you she gives you a quick nod.
She sees a tear from
like across the hall,
literally, yeah, just
from across the hall. She had been standing on top of one of the cots so that everybody could see her, and then having said her piece, she's down. And every so often you have people coming up to her in these half murmurs. There's like a kind of a continuous low-grade susurration sweeping the room, and then individual conversations going on, and every so often someone will, usually only one though, occasionally two, will come up to her. They've given her a bit of a berth in the center, and they'll just ask her one or two questions in a very low murmur. She answers them in the same way, and then they're back, and then this is happening.
Merrick will approach.
Okay,
grace and elegance.
You gradually make your weave your way through the various groups,
continuing just to look at her as I like she's the only thing in the room, and I'll weave my way through. And as I approach her,
she's sitting on the cot.
Granny Dewshine.
Merrick.
Not now on this important occasion. But and he starts shaking. They've never probably seen a mirror shake.
She scoots over a little, and instead of her typical jovial pat, she just gives one kind of heavy hand on the space next to her.
Your quandary is my quandary. Do you understand?
All too well.
My desire for the Shires is also in my head. The double share. So brutal. It's weary. It's corrupting. I feel corrupted. Granny's gone.
She is.
Maybe because of what I have done, I don't know. In some corrupted way through the spiritual that I don't know about.
Merrick, honey, you're not that strong. Her fate was decided a long time ago. But right now, sit and be silent or leave. This is everything that I can do.
He will sit.
Okay,
and
you sit next to her.
He will attempt, at least, to cuddle, nuzzle, kind of lay his head in like he did with Granny Livia.
You hear her sigh, and a shudder goes through her form as well. At points, she hides her face and sobs quietly to herself, and then pulls herself out of it. One more of them, and now you can hear questions. And you realize yet one more layer to your own culture, that It's about as public as it gets. These Kithgi cheek to jowl with each other in the healing hall. That there is an entire world and language that goes on amongst these healers that you are aware of, but you're only really on the periphery of. You know how to heal, but it has never been a calling for you the way that it is for these people here.
Okay, and I will...
that goes on for a while.
I'll contemplate on various things. I'll leave it at that.
Eventually, there are a couple humans who kind of poke their head in like, what the fuck? Because the energy, the vibe is so different in that healing hall, and the city begins to come awake. And Marcus, you lead your people. A few more have trickled in.
All is welcome.
And afterward, it goes well. I mean, ever since the pillar, there's a willingness to believe that you've noticed there's some kind of shift that's happened. They needed that, and you answered. You rose to the occasion. Afterward, you see Beacon Gaius coming, trundling his way toward you, and there's a man who honestly looks like he could be related to you beside him, albeit somewhat better kept, trimmed beard, clothes are, if not immaculate, clean, made of linen, not cloth, but there's nothing ostentatious about them. And you see he too wears a bronze circlet to indicate his status as a beacon.
Also rise when they rise. Probably just sitting in the grass with other people.
Yeah. And this is they must have left their services pretty much at the same time that you finished yours, because they got here not soon after. Gaius looks at him. He kind of nods down, thanking him. Ave, sir.
Ave?
And I'm to understand that you are. There's a soft accent to his voice, which you register by this point. You would know as Makarian. I'm to take it that you're the person who's been holding down the fort since Beacon Crash is kind of,
did what he did.
Let's say lost his nerve.
Indeed.
By the way, you might want to know that was well and thoroughly looked into. As best we can tell, best as my betters can tell, in Leptis Regium. He drops his voice because it's not necessarily the best regarded city at this particular time. He wasn't, in on it. He was just, well, let's say that His Grace is not too fond of beacons who abandon their post.
I can share that sentiment, yes.
He looks at the temple. Kind of amazing that, something like this would get, any road. Done's done. Sorry, Beacon Andros.
I shake his hand.
Okay. If you're not already standing, he'll help you up.
I'm already standing.
Okay. Ma'am, he gives your wife like a deep nod of his head. She smiles at him a little more reserved than she would normally, but still quite polite. So I'll be thanking you and also taking over the stewardship of the temple of the 10th Lights, and it's an important thing you've been doing. It's kind of a unusual situation we have here. He's being Beacon Andros Marcus is being, this is of course Beacon Gaius. Beacon Andros Marcus is being modest. In fact, in my memory, I can't remember His Grace ever raising someone from the Isles of Macaria up to the status. Well, truth is, nobody else would have it, sir. See, after all that went down, they assumed that anybody sent in from Leptis Regium was just going to get, clubbed to death on the spot as soon as they stepped foot on the beach. I figured if that's the way it's going to be, then if that's where the path of the Lord Lights led me, then so be it. And here I am. Nobody's clubbed me yet.
It's always a plus. I don't think no one will.
You don't look like the clubbing type, though you got the shoulders for it.
I do what I can. But I'm not going to club you, and I don't think no one else here will.
Yeah, I'm not too, I'd say adverse to violence on, the temple steps.
Understood.
So, I guess I just want to ask, he looks around. Do you trust coming in the temple with me?
Well, I see no one not.
Alba's hand goes on top of your forearm.
Yep.
Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I take it and I kiss it. We'll be fine.
With advantage, make a persuasion check. Because your wife is not necessarily thrilled about you going inside of the temple.
17.
She gives you a rare look, which is to say, I don't know this is good. But she nods her head to you and her hand releases.
I'll be along shortly. If I'm not, you know where to go.
Andros.
Look over, just take a quick glance to the keep.
Yeah. Andros nods, kind of sighs, and you can hear the regret in the sigh.
I have faith in you, as I have faith in Quailethorn, and I think nothing's going to happen to me in there. But things have been happening recently that has people a bit on edge, and of course, what happened here has me kin on edge most. So,
understandable.
I think we have a potential of being good friends. If I can ask, what happened to...
You follow up the steps? Okay.
The Kithgi, I don't remember his name. It's been so long since we've actually said it.
Rupel?
Rupel?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to field-raised beacon Rupel, the Kithgi?
Well, His Grace... you could say there was some lively conversation about that.
Yeah.
Down in Regium, and His Grace decided it would not be appropriate at this time for a non-human to be heading up a prime temple. So, Brother Rupel gave his assent, and I will be very glad to lean on his expertise, his understanding of Juramentum. Oath. That's what it means in old speak.
Indeed.
I only haven't even been here a full day, but I'm beginning to understand why. Now, before you decide we're going to be good friends, you should hear what I have to say. I believe, he says, in being quite blunt and direct for all the fact that I follow the fifth. It's an act of love to be truthful and honest and forthright. Don't you agree?
I can agree to that, yes.
He takes his candle of faith and shows you it's ruby. He is not poor. As you see, it's actually small. Some might even call it feminine, but it looks to your untrained eye as an actual ruby. He says, His Grace I watched you deliver your... Forgive me, it's church doctrine not to call... Well, you're not a beacon, so it can't be a sermon by definition.
Eulogy?
No. I heard about that, but what you just did out there. Hope you don't mind. I was kind of in the back watching, wanted to see how you.
All are welcome.
Yeah, you're a natural. You got the gift, different time, different place, I'd say. You should join the church. So, His Grace wanted to see... It took a while, but here's the long and the short of it, friend. Maybe. Crassus, he's been... Beacon Crassus has been how do you say, reduced. Vow of silence, cleaning stables for a year and a day, that sort of thing. We'll see if he makes his good graces, but before he went silent, will of the primate and all that, he had quite the tale to tell, and I've been trying to find other places, made some stops, bullocks, like that, collecting, information about you, about specifically what you've been doing. And I'm here to make a determination if you're a fraud or if you're real. Just so you know, it's not the first time. I'm not one of these, sorry to say it, one of these rustic bumpkins out there, Marcus. I know, for example, the Emirate of Zahar. Con man. It's got some nice tricks. Good, all conjuration. It's nice. Has a good gig out there. Kind of revolting to lead people down the primrose path like that. Bilk them of their coin, of their hope, of their faith. But I detest that kind of thing.
Same company then.
Am I?
Well, I detest that as well.
I'm going to make a persuasion check for you.
Okay.
Ooh. Boy.
+3.
+3. So, probably none of my other colleagues would have come out with it, but I'm here and they're not. I just wanted you to know where we stand with one another.
Well, I appreciate that.
One other thing.
Mm-hmm.
That Amir in Zahar, he's a prideful motherfucker. Are you prideful, Marcus?
I think I am. I lived on a farm. I didn't know how to do much of anything other than farming. And now I heal. I do what I need to do for the people here. For anybody who asks.
All right. I suppose that's a start.
I believe it would be a good idea to keep up with the mass on the grass, though. I think the people have come to understand it and respect it. And if you are going to take over here, they might appreciate you all the more for it.
You know, considering you're already learning the secret of the word, can't believe he actually does look around kind of a little nervously. They don't joke. Heads roll.
I understand.
If you're lucky. It can kill you slower ways. But here, I understand things are different. So normally I'd have to say that was, something along the lines of usurping church auctoritas, but maybe things are different here. Make an insight check.
Yeah, so I was about to ask for it.
I know. I could smell it coming.
I'm actually going to use my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Ooh.
You can roll once, and then you can, if you like it, you can roll again.
Okay.
If you don't like it, you can roll again.
12. Insight would be 18. Is that enough for...
Gonna be a decision before.
18. Do you like it? Is that enough to beat him? Or do you want to roll again?
I'm going to roll again.
Okay. And you take the better of the two, of course.
I'm going to stick with a 17. Or, I'm sorry, 18.
18? Okay. He's hard to read. You got close enough that I will tell you that. And he is not trying... You don't feel like in the moment that he is trying to bald-faced lie to you. But he's going to be hard to read. And you would be surprised if he isn't keeping his own counsel on some matters.
Understood.
Yeah.
I was going to invite Constance, and I was going to invite Gaius. And
Oh, yeah. The woman... The woman...
who's been leading her people with...
Lay priest.
She's been leading her people with some good solid head on her shoulders.
Them 12th lighters.
Yeah. Well,
Weird folk.
they are, but all beneath Quailithorn's light.
Kind of surprised his grace hasn't, had a little pogrom or something down in Regium, but he says their coins... Well, anyway.
That said, I was going to invite them to family dinner, and I'd like you to join us. See it firsthand.
He just slaps you on the shoulder and goes then, need to be seen about these rooms, Marcus, I do.
The invitation's open if you wish.
His radiance.
His radiance.
And when he says that, there's no irony. Mm-hmm. There's reverence. Okay. Corey, I hate to poke and prod you this way. Is Indra going to find you that day? Because you're in a state, but she's hot to trot to leave.
Indra
is Starstep.
Yes, you want to talk to her.
Because she was going to talk. Remember, she was going to pick your brain about Utini.
I'm gonna do the cozy thing for a little while, but I'm not gonna waste the whole day there for sure. No, I'm gonna.
Okay.
I definitely have to balance guilt responsibilities too, so I might be there for a torch.
When you leave, Granny Dewshine's fate is undecided. They have this. This could be an all-day affair.
And when I leave, Granny. I think perhaps your fate may be mine as well. He just turns. He walks off.
You feel some sort of energetic caress as her answer to you. Some moment of understanding or perhaps even sympathy between the two of you, and then you leave. So a chunk of your day, the runners. You guys did very well in defending the civilians. So surprisingly, you actually still have the good majority of your runners in Geramentum, because very few of them got injured. I think there was only like one who got killed at the field hospital, so it was almost untouched, that infrastructure of the city. So a runner does find you and direct you and say that that the weird staff lady is waiting for you at the Commons.
Thank you. And he goes off to.
Okay, so basically, yeah. And I'm not going to play through all of that, but I mean, I assume that you give her good intel, that you tell her accurately and faithfully what you know about the Utini, or are there things that you hold back?
There's no reason not to.
Okay.
Once I sure I heard that she is the sword sister to
she's her official is Major Doma, but yeah.
I will also attempt to describe it enough to dissuade her that her lady almost came out pretty much dead, barely surviving. Her going off alone is.
Is there anything that you want to try to read about Indra while you're having this exchange? Because she has to drop some of her mask to be effective with you to get the information.
Yeah, I definitely want to perceive. I'm trying to understand the type of woman she is as we're discussing this. Also more insight to understand the lady and kind of the dedication. In some ways similar to what my dedication is to Titus. And so I'm looking for intent, purpose.
You have to make it narrow to make it count.
All right.
Because you don't have enough time with her. Or you could do kind of a general. You could just try to get a general sense of.
No, it's more like a duty. I'm really trying to save her life from going, or even asking her, getting out of her why she has to go alone, and I wouldn't say it directly like that, but understanding why she's willing to risk tooth and nail and her capabilities. She's very stealthy. Well, actually, I would probably have noticed her grace and her dexterity.
You get the sense that this isn't her first outing. Actually, make 2 rolls then. Make an insight check and then make a persuasion roll.
Not bad. That's 15.
Okay.
And then persuasion.
Yeah.
I'll use this one today. That's what I was doing good the other day. Mother's blessing.
Lucky kid.
Wow. Oh, okay.
What's the other one? Persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah.
Not that great. 5.
Okay.
Actually 4. Minus 1, right? Yeah,
I
minus 2.
thought that was another one. I was like, dude,
No.
you were the luckiest.
Okay. So she says toward the end of it, kind of giving you something of an answer, because she answers what you're actually saying instead of what you've said on the surface. Who said I was going alone? She gives you a wink.
He nods. Well then. Please report whatever you find. We need to understand our city is, as you know, diminished.
A fair exchange. I accept. They were not exaggerating when they said you had studied these creatures. I greatly appreciate your insights and knowledge.
1 second. This is his backpack. He pulls out the camouflage tarp they use. This will aid you. It's theirs. If you lay silently underneath it, very difficult to see.
Reverses it.
May the mother protect you.
Pulls it up to the light. Normally, I am chary of the gods, but in this case, I will take all the help I can get. I have traveled far and wide, sometimes alone, sometimes with my domina. I have seen this look before. Perhaps I overstepped myself, but I do not envy you your path. If I would say a thing, I would say this. The killing is not the point. The killing is what we do. The loving is the point.
Understood.
She bows to you.
Okay. I give her a slight respectful bow.
Olay, Sergeant Merrick Touchgem. I hope to see you once more. And if our paths do not cross again, well, I will thank you when I split my first Utini skull. And she leaves. Okay. And as we come toward our halfway point here, we have, I guess we're going pretty granular right now, so I'm not be thinking about what you want to do, because eventually Livia actually is going to explain why she never showed up to when you were interviewing Indra last session. You had sent for her, and you would already know this, but she explains to the others, and kind of as is becoming the want of the fellowship, you meet up in the in her joint office with Titus, and that's where we'll pick up. All right, and trivia question.
Yeah.
See,
remember.
Forget. It's a minor miracle there, but we'll keep it short and sweet. How many years ago, or how many winters ago, however you want to phrase it, was Geramentum founded? Or, alternately, what year or winter was Geramentum founded in? Either way. And winner is going to get a wonderful Eldritch code to make a wonderful Eldritch Foundry custom mini. There's been, I guess, a little bit of confusion about that, but it's just one code for one mini. I know there have been some other attempted uses, but that's how it's currently set up. Okay, and if you have any questions about that, hop in the chat and ask Tobias, because he knows all the details about that. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in about 15.
See you guys.
Why limit your imagination? In the tabletop role-playing space, customization is everything, especially when it comes to your character. Whether you're a player, a painter, or a master of tales, your character is what matters most. Using high-quality, fully customizable miniatures, you can be built for battle with Eldritch Foundry.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
We lift our voice to greet the rising sun. Your splendorous touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
Welcome back. Had a few shenanigans here just before we got back on stream, but here we are.
Good time.
Struggle.
Here we are on time. So we arrive at
The Candle of Tales.
I'm going to call it. We arrive at the Candle of Tales. Trying to go rogue again.
Did you hear that?
That was great.
Tenor?
Otherwise, the rest of this gets erased after we get done.
No, it's true because we've already established that nothing that happens while the candle isn't lit is canon.
Yep,
100%.
It has to be canon. So congratulations, we had a person on YouTube and we had a person on Twitch.
Oh.
Both win.
Who wins?
Both win the.
It was both me.
Then both. Then both. It's the only fair way to do it.
It was Simul.
So. We've got Grim Reefer over on YouTube. We love Grim. We love Grim. No, he's
Reefer versus Reaper.
He's
like Grim Reaping going on right now.
He's good people. No, and he's actually been really good at pointing out some stuff that I could add as far as like the survival aspect of the game. I have done some research, and I have some of my own, but most of my survival knowledge is about deserts. So no, that's been really good. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And then we have Klytos over. Yep.
Nice.
Who ran
Rock.
who already knows. So well done. Who apparently just immediately knew that. So the answer is, Germentum was founded 48 winters ago.
Shit.
Donnie.
Wait a minute.
I've been saying 52.
And when Corey said he had an advantage, it's because his character was born when German was founded, so it's.
I'm 48 years old as well.
Right.
That's how we do a trick questions. Like, ask them, and do you know when Merrick was born as well?
which puts us at AUC 2728 if you answered it that way. And that is all on the wiki. Okay.
Check out our wiki.
Yes, there is the wiki is the thing now. The wiki is live. We've only been talking about it for about 6 months now, but
it's really cool.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Living and breathing forever.
And it is living and breathing, and there'll be many iterations of it. Yes.
That's the point of a wiki.
Okay. So we arrive at, I'm just calling it Livia's office now.
That's fair.
Even though technically it is your office as well.
The Temple of Doom, or
and between right.
Nursery, the cot, and her shit.
Yeah.
The Fortress of Solitude.
It's a Fortress of not so solitude. However, the old office is kind of lively this evening. I'm going to say that this would be after supper. So the Kithgi still have at least 2 meals ahead of them, but the humans are done eating for the day. You have the Fellowship, you have Livia, Atsadi is there as well, her younger handmaiden, and waiting for you there are Griffon, who is off in a corner. He has found his way to some new clothes. His armor was destroyed during the battle, though, so he doesn't have armor yet. And there's he has various schemes and plots and plans to get some armor pretty soon, because it's not like running around like that. And we have, perhaps to the consternation or surprise of some of you, most of you have not met him yet. We have Beacon Andros, who Livia has also invited up there. At Livia's invitation. And in fact, she has had you would know this, she had an early supper with him. She also, and Indra Starstep is also up here. So it's a hot time in the old town tonight.
Phew.
All the guests.
As you have all of these different guests, as you have all of them gathered.
Titus is going to walk up and try to introduce himself to Catryn because he doesn't realize that it's her because she's getting up. I was like, oh my god. Sorry, good to see you.
What was that?
Nothing at all.
Did you actually...
You saw that, right?
Did.
You see her? She doesn't look like Catryn.
Quite often.
Yeah. She doesn't look like she rolled around in, books.
She's just glaring at you the whole time now.
Lord Vaughn, thank you for joining us.
See you again. And Catryn, thank you. Obviously.
She says...
Apparently.
I appreciate you all gathering here. She's not so much addressing the Fellowship. At this point, this is like a second home to y'all, but she's addressing the visitors. They all acknowledge her in their different ways. Brother Andros giving her a textbook perfect Leptis Regium bow to a lesser noblewoman. And the other two, Griff kind of grunting, but giving her a strong nod in the corner.
I'll take the other corner.
Okay.
Position where I'm at.
And Indra, again, touching her forehead to the stone. Although you notice here there is perhaps a subtle difference. For those of you who are really watching, when she bows to the lady, she has her hand over her heart, underneath her, and then leaves it alone when she rises back up, and then stands in that much more militant stance,
at ease, but
hands behind the back, head up, shoulders straight, and just off to the side, as though she's attending you. I believe. Do you mind mixing the business then?
Might as well.
Unfortunately, time has found us, but I'll wait a bit for that. Indra Starstep, you are the majordoma of Lady Vale. My lord brother has a request of thee. Of course, any way that I am able to assist, Domina. And she steps up just immediately in the middle of you, like she's about to be interrogated, from six different sides. How may I be of assistance?
It's about the necklace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just like, I was wondering if you could tell me about the gift that Lady Vale gave to me. And I'll pull it out. I like the necklace.
She looks around. Nilishli, you've never laid eyes on this thing before. It looks like a collection of green-tinted seashells, honestly, that have been strung together.
Like sea glass or shells? Actual shells.
Shells, although there are various bits and bobs that are in there that have been added over the long years. It gives you, there's a little, like a sense of foreignness to it. You haven't ever encountered this kind of thing before. And the color is unknown to you. Even as you go back through your not inconsiderable memories of the priestesses, that nothing. With advantage, make a persuasion check.
It's not good. Still not great. 10.
Okay. She's silent for a good while, and almost gently, Livia looks at her. Major Doma, your Domina would not have left that entrust with you if she did not trust this man. Believe me, she trusts this man. As we speak, she is at the side of this man's grandsire. Willingly, as his shield maiden. Just so, Domina. Of course, I know her well enough. It would be impossible for Quaelathon himself to make her slash unwillingly.
Agreed.
That heirloom artifact, it makes one proof against all manner of poisons and elements. It is one of the most sought-after devices in all the Empire, for the simple fact that the patricians enjoy murder that way.
Most patricians are quite sneaky in that way. And I'm going to side-eye Weisa as I put it on.
She looks at Livia, and there's some...
Still mad at you.
There's some communication between the two women, between your sister and this odd majordoma. Livia nods to her. There are no women of her line. By rights, it pains me to say, but my mistress is somewhat out of order. To send it, she should send it back to home.
I'll keep it safe until she comes here.
But that having been said, Domine, I will always fully back whatever her will is. And if her will is that it is in thy hands, then it is in thy hands.
I'll keep it safe.
A full bow on obeisance. Thank you. Do we have any further need of her?
Good luck.
She gives you a little half bow. Coming from you, I appreciate that. I do not sell. She looks at Merrick now. I do not sell my life cheap. I am not a fool. I expect I will succeed, where perhaps an entire legion would not. It's easy for one person or a few to slip through, where many cannot.
I would present her with a treat to go.
She chuckles.
It's wrapped really nicely.
So this tall, athletic, dark-haired woman takes the treat, and actually, even in the presence of her betters, just takes the moment to savor it and to savor you. She whispers something to you in her tongue, which you don't understand.
Do I understand it? Or can I hear it?
It's Anyish.
I don't think I have it.
Make a I'll make this a high DC, but make an insight check.
Insight 17.
Okay.
I have a 1 right now.
You have a what?
A 1 in Onish.
Oh, a 1. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So
Might get a word or two.
Yeah.
Or a word.
You get this. You get the sense that there's an inside joke in there somewhere. You can't pick up any other layers, but there's some sort of amusement she finds that you chose to give her a nicely wrapped treat. Just a little twinkle in the dark eyes, and then she's gone.
I'll lean in before she goes and be like,
She stops.
just a whisper to and just make sure to tell her when you see her to come back and be a fool with me. She'll know what it means. Thank you.
Watching Andros during this exchange, while she was explaining everything like that, especially when he said the patricians can be sneaky and stuff like that, was there anything that flickered across his face? Was he like a little bit more interested in what was going on with the necklace?
Make an insight check.
18.
Wow.
So you're rapidly learning this man is nobody's fool.
Mm-hmm.
He is a church. He is a church. We'll use the nice word and say investigator.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, those inquisitors.
among other things. There is a moment of raw shock on his face when Indra tells Titus what the purpose of that artifact, let's face it, in this world that is an artifact, is. And I mean, his jaw actually opens a little bit, and then he recomposes himself.
Did it seem like he recognized it?
You beat him by a fair amount.
Assume the church will know that.
Make a second insight check.
Okay.
I want to see if you can glean that.
Nope, I sure didn't.
Okay.
With an 8 out of 2.
With the initial roll, you're not sure, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the overwhelming, I mean, he was really gobsmacked that thing is in this room, being given to that person. That was
chop liver.
That was not. You are not part of his ecosystem, and for Lucretia to give you that, despite all of her, semi-exile, etc., like that, she is still absolutely part of that ecosystem.
Oh, for sure.
And now that artifact that has been passed from Patrip to Domina to Domina for time immemorial is wandering up here in the frickin' Riverlands.
Are there
man's neck at that.
Are there a lot of
On a man's neck at that, yes.
Are there a lot of artifacts?
No.
And so in that rare instances, there's like, would it be in books? Would it be in literature?
That is an excellent question, and normally you would say yes, because the greatest empire, the old empire, did such an excellent job of tearing out all traces of the now seconds, of just extirpating them from the face of the earth. Very little. Essentially, Anika, in the book that Adrian gave you, you probably have most of what's left on this world of a proof of their existence in written form.
Damn.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking at this necklace,
Sure.
Is there, like you said, it looks like foreign to me. Is there anything about it to me that feels like godly?
This will be a high DC, but make a religion check.
What?
Is it wisdom based?
What? Why put religion and then not have it go to religion?
Religion's intelligence.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not religion. Who made these rules?
We're gonna give you.
Who enforces these rules?
You're the CSI.
We're gonna give you a complex with that -2.
Seriously.
Campaign is over.
I know. Okay, it's an 11.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, plus.
So what were you focusing on?
I wanted to detect if there was anything, obviously,
like divine
as I am divine in nature, I would like to see if there's any like kind of divine elements that I'm sensing.
You don't get a clear answer to that. What you do get a clear answer to, though, with an 11, is just that thing is old. Mm-hmm. It might be, now, again, not high enough, but it's like maybe in the general neighborhood of Winter's Harvest. It's that old.
Mm-hmm.
And Winter's Harvest was around before the Yearlit were Yearlit.
Now that I'm hearing about this,
Sure.
All right.
do I get the sense that this thing has like a similar energetic signature to myself?
You would have to examine it at length to know that. And remember, the thing is faded now. It's not nearly as vibrant as what it was. So put it to the test at your own risk.
And just with that, I just want to add, Titus, I'm just going to like kind of walk up to you and like examine it. And then just like, you can like, can I touch it?
Of course.
And then I'm just going to go and gently like.
Yeah, as you're doing that, I'm going to be like, so other orders of business.
You get a second slight jaw drop from Beacon Andros. You were throwing him off balance. You crazy rustic hick patricians.
Welcome to the show.
Akin to the way Andra was shocked when he picked up her chest.
Indra, yeah.
Indra.
Yes. Hers was coupled with true fear, because that's usually, a noble would never do that unless he was just about to murder you in Leptis Regium. But with Andros, he even physically, there's a slight just bob back,
regurgitation,
as a capable, I mean, he's looking at you not as a quote unquote woman, but as a capable warrior, gets with right up on him like that. That'd be unthinkable where he comes from. Right at his throat.
I've known her since the day she was born. That's fine.
Oh my god.
He actually he swallows
my own shovel.
And only because you were specifically been watching him this whole time, Randy, make an investigation or perception check.
Oh, yeah.
That's better.
Which one is
Someone
better?
say I'm an oldest friend.
Perception's for investigation. That would be a 20, not a dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Mm-hmm. Okay. You hear him whisper in a much cruder vernacular. Thorn's hairy balls. And then where you get a little glimpse of perhaps who he was. And this new polished beacon is back.
Yeah.
And he does notice you at that point. He gives you a pleasant smile.
Ew, what a douchebag.
I pleasantly smile right back.
He's a Macarian. What do you expect?
Griffon of Parts Unknown. Griffon chuckles a little.
Yeah.
And
I
says,
chuckle too.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I kind of deserve that. And she smiles. He said he was a citizen of the world. So there you go.
Ah, he's full of shit. Yeah, and I look at Griff and kind of smile like, but
he gives you a little mocking bow, and then goes up in front of her. Domina, I understand that our eastern wall owes its existence, at least in part, well, to two chosen, yourself and Evander. I have spoken with Evander already, and it was a difficult note to convey. However, I trust the secret of the world will be no mystery to thee. And he hesitates. All right, then. Takes a step forward, takes it, and perhaps to the surprise of the lot of you, perhaps not, he kneels. And then stands back up. Just a moment. Holds, pauses, stands back up.
Your courage was admirable. Thank you.
Truth be told, I tried to explain to your lady sister that I didn't do it for you. I didn't do it for the city. I did it for the person who's standing right over there. And
Everything
I do it again.
I do is for everyone in this room.
have you decided?
Nilishli kind of like.
Have you decided to whether your travels will take you? Well, perhaps you will. She looks over to Nilishli. Pass some additional time with us. Truth be told, I hadn't decided, but I was en route to this goddamn Gravedigger. And then, the site, all of that. I saw what would happen if I didn't go back, so I went back. But that's probably where I'll pick up, at least most likely.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
He's looking at you like he's actually seeing you for the first time. I don't know. You've barely had any words with him, I think.
Like a handful.
Yeah, a
Nothing
handful.
crazy. I avoided him.
Yeah.
Where I told him that I wasn't a Willworth.
Yeah. That's right.
Walked away.
That's right.
Horribly
I was like, what?
Moi.
Ran away.
Eunaeus' kid? Or just his apprentice?
Sure.
Well,
No need for frostiness. This is my friend Catryn. Catryn, Griff,
Yeah, now we're friends.
now you're friends.
I wouldn't argue with her. And I look over at Nilishli.
looks over. And does the peanut gallery has anything to say as Andros was drawing in breath? It doesn't. He looks back over at you, and Andros, probably wisely, just lets whatever comment he was about to make about the Gravedigger go. Yeah, well, if you're Naeus' associate, you know about Olivius, Ollie, and you know what I need to do, what I've been trying to do for a long time.
Hasn't it been long enough? You can't grieve. You can't let it go.
You have a brother?
No.
You have a child?
I have a sister.
You close?
No.
And she's still breathing.
I don't know.
I'll put it to you this way, kid. The same way that I knew what would happen if I didn't come back for her. That same part of me that drove me back. That's what keeps me going. I gotta see Ali smile again. I promised I would get him out, and I didn't. And no.
He won't be the same.
I'll take what I can get.
Then what will you trade?
Shit. You have done your homework.
What are you gonna trade? Don't you dare take my family from me. I don't trust you. And she's gonna leave.
Griff, what does she mean?
Make a persuasion check.
No, catch and wait, and I'll walk out to go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Natural 20. Oh, she rolled a natural 20. Praise the Lord!
Celebrate!
That was loves her. That was the one to get.
Dark weathers upon you.
You know why I initially came back? No, I did have the sight. Everything I told you was true. And it burned me horrible. That you were probably going to go down on that, and that's great. Naeus is gone. Now I know that he took his grimoire with him. But there's a chance sitting in that hut is Zed.
Zed?
His masterpiece, his magnum opus, Nilly. The thing that made me, me. I wasn't always like this. I couldn't pull mana through my hands and scream it into being. I was kind of half-rate at that stuff, honestly. It was Olivius who was the genius. Kind of like her, actually. I could do a little. But he made me chosen. His Zed made me chosen. I won't even try to describe what that transformation was like. But that man and his decisions, he changed the world, and I can't say it's much for the better. All I want, all I've ever fucking wanted, was just my small piece of it back. That's it, just my brother. I don't need eternal life. I don't need power. I don't need approbation or coin. I just want him breathing again.
Is there a chance that this Zed can do that?
Yes. It can shape a world. It can goddamn bring a boy back. A young man. I know it.
But aren't there consequences?
Darling, there are always consequences.
What's your plan?
I had thought about ambushing her, to tell you the truth. Seeing how that mana worked. I wouldn't have killed her. I know she means something to you. But you gotta understand, Nelly. I've been living with this for a fucking long time, and I want an end to it. And it's staring. It's about a couple 100 yards the other direction. But I didn't do it because I didn't want to have to see you, and I didn't want to have to fight you, and I didn't want to do all of that. And it turns out that sorry son of a bitch just has some dusty ass robes in there, and I will have given away my honor for nothing.
Your honor is intact.
I can't believe I'm fucking telling you all of this.
I wish you had told me this sooner. What are those scars on your back from? At least tell me that.
Being a slave.
To who?
Merrick's head perks up just briefly. He's been staring.
Ask me that later. I'm going to this Gravedigger. It's a mid-power. I'm not going to try to explain what that is either, but suffice to say, it can do whatever. It can bring Ollie back, but it requires, of course it does, a steep price.
What is the price?
An equal exchange.
A life?
An equal exchange, Nilishli. Yes, a life. A brilliant, young, chosen life. And he looks where she left. She would be the best fit. You do too.
This is how you talk to the person who saved your life.
Well, you were off the table.
Griff, I deeply honor your journey, and I will do anything in my power to help you get your brother back. But if it is involving the killing of any one of these people, I will stand in your way.
I understand.
And to be fair, ain't no one deserved that from you. No child, no chosen, no one to take away their life, their purpose, their potential for your brother. I understand it's important to you, but what about their family and their loved ones?
Your name's Marcus, right?
It is.
You have this golden light that has everybody abuzz, right?
They say so, yes.
You've been making it on luck, my friend, and by divine favor. And believe me, in this world of muscle and blood, both of those always run out.
Mayhap. And that, if that's the case, that will be my path. But don't erase someone else's future simply for your own selfish ends. I mean no disrespect to your brother. I mean no disrespect to him. But these people that you are looking to replace him with, or trade him, people who love them too. Brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers. You should honor that if you care enough about your brother to bring him back like that.
What was it a wise man once said? There is no justice in this world but what we make. Justice is an illusion. Apologies, Domina. I know this place was founded on that ideal. And in my way, I've tried not to fuck around too much here. All that you just said, pretty words. It's just words. At the end of the day, I look after me and I look after mine. And I fucked up looking after mine. And I gotta make that right. Come what may.
Is there another way?
Yeah. Probably, yeah. But I've never met this Gravedigger before. I don't know if I can gather up enough life. I bet you wouldn't be squealing about me deep sixing some more Utini, huh? Yeah.
I don't knock him, but I ain't want to sacrifice him for that.
No.
I wouldn't trust what came out.
Then you're a fool.
I wouldn't trust what came out.
That's a different argument.
It's relevant.
Can I just say?
He starts pacing like a lion. You saved my life. I'm listening.
When you were that close to death, did you not feel its peace?
Peace? Girl, I never feel peace.
I see.
And I haven't since I heard him breathe his last. Since I wasn't fucking fast enough or strong enough to stop them. I focused on trying to bring him back. Maybe I'll go up there and give that still breathing twat my best, my worst. Never killed a prince before. But that's a suicide run. See? That, Marcus, that would be selfishness. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna talk to this piece of shit. I'm gonna see what it wants. I'm gonna see what I can do, what I can convince it, and go from there. If it'll take enough Utini, maybe one of theirs, what do they call it? One of the sub-chieftains? Maybe that's enough. I don't know. Maybe one or two or five of their fire workers. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. I don't know if the count is chosen. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are for that. I just know that because I got tangled up in this fucking town, that my best shot at bringing Ollie back just walked out the door. My best chance to take her would have been without hurting you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do that.
Nilishli's just gonna walk over to him and give him a really, really big hug. Like a 20-second, warm, like totally connected hug. The kind of hug that people fall apart in.
Ooh, as she's doing that, I'm gonna walk back in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He starts to pull back. I'm not going to have you roll again because you rolled a natural 20 earlier. And you can feel this man of iron just trembling in your arms right now. And slowly, inexorably, like the dance of the tide, like the eternal rhythm between man and woman, you feel his arms slowly by inches curl around your body.
And I'm just going to put my head on his shoulder and whisper into his ear, I will help you, but this is not the way.
Then you feel his hands on your ribs, and with perhaps surprising tenderness, he breaks from you. I gotta go. And unless you try to stop him, he leaves. He doesn't look at you. He goes.
I let him.
Okay.
I let him go.
Yeah. I thought we were like, the only difference is I give my life for my family, where you take someone for yours.
He pauses at the door, doesn't turn around, but heard what you said. Leaves. Whew. Livia lets out a little. I was just trying to be nice.
I'll spit on the ground where he walked out. He has to say it. I don't like him.
Let him go. He'll die. I'm sorry, Millie, but
That man is
Broken.
very.
He's powerful, resourceful. Are you certain, advisor?
I fear he also doesn't know where he's going.
I'm
Catryn,
broken. You know,
may
let
I
me go
speak to you
too.
in private.
Never.
Yeah.
She's gonna pull Catryn over.
Okay.
Like, what's the next room nearby to where? Is there a private room?
Antechamber or something.
Not an antechamber, but there you'd have just a little,
Livia's room.
like Livia's sitting room. Yeah, that would be
Okay.
off to the side.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk in front of her, and I'm sure in my head, Weisa, you come too.
All right, so the ladies go out. So the scenes that we're gonna that we'll finish the session with are happening simultaneously. Go ahead, though, Alan.
Okay. I'm gonna walk into the other room, close the door after they walk in behind me, and sharply turn around. Catryn, what do you know about him that I don't?
I know about his past, and the things that he's done, and the things that he will do to fix it.
The future is not written in stone.
His future is.
How do you know?
Because it is. He has nothing else to do but this. He loves you, but this is his life. This is the only thing he's been doing for his whole life.
Where have you seen this?
Figulus.
Figulus told you about Griff before you met him?
I know a lot of the history.
Why would he tell you?
Because I'm his apprentice. Because he's my mentor.
Did he see him as a threat?
Griff? Yes. He wants to reshape so much of this world for his brother. And it will destroy more than he knows. Zed reshapes everything. Everything. It created me. It created him. What does he think is going to happen if he performs it again? And he doesn't even know how to do it. Like, he doesn't understand it.
So teach him.
Why would I teach him to reshape this earth, this world?
Because your apprentice harmed him. He wronged him. And now it's your responsibility to fix the injustice.
Why is it my responsibility?
Figulus is gone.
No, he's not.
Where is he?
I don't know.
We have the opportunity to help a man who misses his brother. Now, I speak to Dread Mother, and she cannot bring him back, but this Zed might.
Do you understand? I don't think you do.
I think this is a hard one, my friends.
I think he needs to be in his grief and grief his brother and leave it. But he won't. And now he's searching for something that he will not find a good answer to.
Well, I agree with you, Catryn. I think it's hard when Figulus has played so much with reality.
I can't complain. I was created in it.
There is good in the chaos of it. But I understand your concerns, and Nilly, it is hard to see him so unable to find peace. That is not someone that is collected, clear. I worry for him.
Aye.
I want to help him. I do, but I don't think we can. There's too much that can go wrong, and it might not even work. And even if he found the Gravedigger, I don't know if it's actually been done. There are things that he needs. He needs me. I would die.
What is the connection between you and the Gravedigger? Why you?
I don't have a connection with the Gravedigger. The Gravedigger needs a soul, a body to replace so that the other soul can come back.
So why not anybody?
It has to be an equal. They have to be the same, and his brother was strong. He was brilliant. He was amazing. And not to say that about myself, but I would be his equal in this sense.
Nilishli's gonna start pacing, arms crossed, walking around the room. What about the Child of the Crimson? What do you know about that?
I know a lot about that, but I don't know if that would be an equal.
Is that an equal? Surely.
Would that be an equal? Would she know?
Make it our common check.
25.
Ooh.
Shoot.
At least. There's more I'll tell you later, but I don't want to
Okay.
kill. Yeah.
Sure.
At least.
Maybe. I need to do more research. I've never thought of that. But I don't know I don't know.
The problem, sorry to interrupt, the problem is that one is a tool, one was made as a tool, and the other was a living being. Go ahead.
I think she's going to hold that, though.
Okay,
She doesn't want to, yeah.
Sure. No, that's...
Because she wants to be sure.
Yep.
Give me time.
Okay, I can work with that.
I don't need a lot.
In the meantime, I'm going to distract Griff. But we need to have an answer by this time tomorrow.
I can get that to you.
I fear where he will go, and I fear what he will do.
Well, if there's one thing that gives me some semblance of hope, it is your care and his care for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Livia watches the distaff members of the fellowship into her sitting room. Well, Brother Beacon, Beacon Andros, I promised thee an interesting evening, and I believe I have delivered. He coughs. Got no complaints, Domino.
Happens all the time. Just
Does it now?
And a quick smile, just like.
He actually, after all that, he actually found the ledge on the window, and he just plopped down on the ledge.
Off my ledge, man. This is where to go.
Fortunately, you're the sitting room right now. Yeah. And he shakes his head, pops up. Sorry. It's all right. So, I'm to understand from Beacon Gaius that you're actually quite an authority on Jason Tenderheart. He kind of looks, I suppose. Figured you were thinking about something, any road. Yes, ma'am. Very good. He is, of course, a compatriot of yours, well, so to speak, a countryman anyway. And we have reason to be interested in some of the lore and the history that you might be able to transmit. Would you be willing? Can't see why not, Domino. I'm gonna be here a good while. I can't see as how'd be very wise or even neighborly of me to refuse. Not to mention the fact I'm not in the habit of telling beautiful women no. He smiles a little bit and
knock it off.
Yeah. he bows in submission to you, and
back to Jason Tim.
So he is still pretty. He's not like super young.
Yeah.
But for a beacon, he's young
for sure. But anyone flirting with my sister in front of me.
No, I totally get that.
Rings fast.
Cute. Yeah.
just the visual. So. He says, well, I guess I'll start with kind of the most infamous fact that Lady Vale, the suit of armor that she ran around in until recently, I suppose.
Very recently, yes.
Yeah, there was a guy, Eolus 10 coin, and that was actually his suit of armor. He was a companion of Jason's for a good while. Not the whole run or anything, but
like a disciple.
I don't know if I would quite call it that. More like I don't know, traveling companion. See, here's the thing about Jason Tenderheart. To some people he's a saint. To some people he's like, I don't know, the second greatest Magnus, the founder of the Empire, but he wasted his Quelathon given potential. I mean, some people say he was the strongest chosen who ever walked the earth. I don't know. He was damn strong. Took down all manner of things. Supposedly killed some dragons, if those even exist anymore. I don't know. And did pretty much everything there is to do on Macaria. And basically everywhere the man got around.
So we would be wondering is where did he stop going? Where is he laid?
Now that, if I could answer that, I'd have the favor of His Grace pretty quick. So, supposedly, no disrespect meant, just most people, they don't have much of a mind for, geography writ large. You know about the continent across the seas. Really, really not. You've heard, some vague stories, yeah. He says, well, I could write some of this stuff down at if that would please you, Nomina, it would. But short version is he went over. Short version is he went over there. He's sticking to Jason Tenderheart.
Yep.
Short version is he went over there with his lifelong companion, brother in arms. Some say sister in arms. I don't know. Tesserin was the name. I'm assuming it was a man. Although, having now met the Lady Vale, maybe not. I didn't know a woman could fight like that, to be honest. Not even a chosen.
I know anything could fight like that.
No, she's good. She's damn good. I saw her fight Leptis Regium. Any road. Yeah, he went over there, faced this creature. I guess I don't know if it's the same thing as what they say is brewing in the north. This is north. You know what I mean? The northern expanse.
Always more north.
Always more north. And they, it was this thing called itself the Red Emperor. And it had, there's all kinds of stuff about this thing. I don't know what to believe. I don't know if it used to be some death tamer who didn't want to die, or if it came from some place that we don't know. Never been seen, never been heard from. It gets into some really murky stuff. The head sage over in Leptis Regium, Gracious Secundus, he's like up to his eyeballs in this sort of thing. Brilliant man. He knows a lot more about it than I do. But anyway, that was the last recorded battle. I guess he won, because no Red Emperor.
No Jason Tenderheart, though, either.
True. And that's kind of where you decide, and that's the amazing thing about Jason Tenderheart. He can kind of be all things to all people, just about. So if you like the version where he went down fighting the good fight, taking that thing out when he got took, then that's what happened. Some people say he won, came back, and started a line over here. And every so often you'll have somebody pop up with coal black hair and those, what do they call it, like eyes of stars, and then they'll be claiming to be his descendant. All of that. I not to put too fine of a point on it, Marcus, but I've been on those cases before too. Shorn the hair, watched it grow back. It wasn't coal black. Mm-hmm. Found the crap well working that they were doing, the hedge magic, honestly, that they were doing to change the eyes.
It's good to be vigilant.
Yeah, and as far as I know, it's all, pardon my phrasing, bullshit. I haven't found anything that stood up to scrutiny yet. But some people do say that none of those are right. Well, that he came back to this continent of his birth, but he didn't go home to Macaria, and he's not buried in some tomb in Fang Prime, but that he came here to the Riverlands, to the Camaranthus region. And that was the last that was seen of him. For myself, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet, I don't know. He wouldn't have gone home. I don't think. I know he's not Fang Prime. That's just propaganda. He looks around. Whew. Oof. People have me loose-lipped right now. That is not something that needs to escape your mouth anywhere.
We're just telling stories. And I'll fill up his wine.
Okay.
Love it.
Takes a quick swig.
Get him drunk.
And no, he had this phrase in him. It was kind of a joke, but whenever they would complete, like whatever quest or combat, he and Tess and Aeolus or whoever else was with him, I understand I'm in a whole heap of chosen. That seems kind of impossible, but that's what I'm hearing consistently. Anyway, in those days, you got more than two as an occasion. And, And then Tess would ask where next, and supposedly he would say north, always north.
I feel like I've always known that.
Really?
No. That poor twang.
He smiles. He kind of gives you a half bow, puts his hand over the top of the wine.
It's rude to refuse the Lord, and I'll pour it on his hand.
Okay, as soon as he said, no,
it's a joke,
Okay, it's like,
I love it.
Make what would that be? A intimidation check, a persuasion and intimidation check.
Okay, yeah. That is 14.
Okay.
I'll forget what you said about my sister.
He does take a bit more. Well, that's
If you could put this to paper, that'd be very useful. Anything that you could remember.
I'll do what I can. He looks over. Domina, she kind of pauses and she says, "Oh, right. Thank you, Beacon Andros. Your erudition has provided quite a bit of knowledge today. I appreciate that. We'll be in touch." And he bows. Vale, Domina. Vale, Domini.
Vale.
And
welcome.
Gives a nod. And leaves. Well, I'm not used to the office being that interesting. I do have
a lot more boring.
Indeed. And that's about the time. It's about the time
that we'll
I'll get back. She looks I trust all is well, advisor.
Do you want me to lie? Or do you want me to tell the truth?
Always the truth.
It's fine. But she'll give you like a little wink.
That was great.
So, we have our date. And she takes yet another scroll. Remember, there's all kinds of pigeonholes, scroll holders, all sorts of things. It's more organized than you, but these days, even Livia's meticulous nature is being sorely tested. And she's double stuffing some of the pigeonholes with scrolls, that sort of thing. So she carefully takes this one out. So, it will be, the negotiations. And I'll dispense with the pleasantries, what passes as pleasantries in Leptis Regium, and tell you that if we're not there to represent Geramentum in negotiations by the Calends of Roth, which is a character, 1 moon and at this point 8 days.
Ooh.
I have delayed them as long as I am able, and they say that if we do not appear, that that is their Bellus Caucus. And it's an act of war. And they will march.
What do they need?
Well, you, of course, as the ranking member of House Vaughn. I've debated. I suppose I may as well say it at this moment. For those of you, this will be no surprise for some of you, but the magistrate major there, one of his sticking points, one of his aspirations has been that I take the hand of his son in marriage. He has been careful, I will note, not to offend, not to attempt to degrade my dignitas by any unsavory implications about that, but he has, in a roundabout fashion, reminded, as if I needed any, that our own mother was a plebeian and was only raised through marriage. He does not deny that we are of Vaughn blood. That would be absurd. But it does weaken my ability to at least rule it off. Obviously, I've made no commitment.
Obviously.
So
I don't know about leaving the city defenseless. If there's another raid, there won't be a Germentum for you to... There won't be a House of Vaughn.
Well, I have some thoughts on the matter, but I wanted to lay out the tableau first before I began opining on it.
What if you were to wed before?
Well, I suppose it's what, 2 days march over to Pollux. Their emir there is from Zahar's back and forth, but
your bun is very tight today. Think about it.
Do you have a particular person in mind?
No. Just a suggestion.
It would take one of the largest bargaining chips we have off the table, to be frank. And to be clear with all of you friends, Fellowship and Chosen, she looks, yes, and you too, Atsadi, who's been silent through this whole... She's been, serving people. Yeah. She's just been... And it's not a couple times, Griff's outbursts or whatever, my mouth is kind of agape, but she's well-trained. Mm-hmm. She raises her hand. If you marry, do I get to go with you? Of course, I'm not going to leave you behind. And that's all. She just smiles, and she seems contented with that. She doesn't even glare at you, Weisa, for once.
She side-eye ways.
Yeah,
I get to go.
There might be a little 12-year-old of that. Yes. So she
breaks. Yeah.
She says, for clarity's sake, I have always known that I will marry for duty, and duty alone.
So can I.
True. Although I imagine that the magistrate major would not be quite as enamored as you as the blushing bride for his son.
I do look good in white.
You do. You've always had redder hair than I. I wish I could just snatch that right from you.
It's very annoying.
She has a darker auburn, At any rate, that is where we stand. We know what the military situation is, the 4 legions, and so on. My thought is that if you're going to take a trip, and then prepare yourself. After this, Nilishli, do you think you would be able to convince Griffon to delay his departure?
To what purpose?
Well, if there are certain resources that I could give to him, that I could gift him with to perhaps increase the chances of his quest. Nothing so grand as that, obviously, but we are not completely without our own arcane possibilities here. Do you think that would be enough to get him? I do think he is a man of honor for all of his pain. If he gave his word, I do not believe he would take what we have to offer and then abandon us. And, of course, you would be the emissary for this. That's one. Evander, perhaps, having fought for the city once, might fight for it again. And I do have one bit of sunshine in all of these clouds. I've just received word. You've probably already heard this, Merrick. You actually hadn't what she's about to tell you because you've been busy.
Literally just staring at a wall.
Yeah.
Mary's so zoned out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's listening, but he is not, and that's what he's doing. So if anyone notices, he's just literally staring at the wall.
Apparently, Granny Dewshine was successful in her long quest, and some number of Kithgi have arrived or are arriving.
It's wonderful news.
From the Shire, yes, Waterwoods, others who were kissed, perhaps even some of the old power.
Wow.
We could sorely use the reinforcements at this moment.
And Titus will put a hand on Merrick's shoulder.
What did you say, Weisa, to me once, to us all once, that the gods' hands are heavy upon Germentum in this moment? Words to that effect.
I
continue to feel it. I envy you your certainty, but I do continue to feel it. So, perhaps with that force it would be enough. I don't know. Of course, ultimately the decision would be thine.
The city will be safe.
Safe enough.
Perhaps we should take that trip to the island.
Oh, all right. Yes, that too.
It's only 2 days. Perhaps that can give us whatever we're needing to the point where we don't have to kneel or marry off or cower. They all said at first it was power, rules. This is what they're all looking for. They're all after. Maybe we can find it first. And choose our own destiny.
Quaileth unwilling. If that is your considered decision, Lord Brother, then that is what we shall do.
As long as you all agree.
I concur. This is important. Quailethon delivered this to us for a reason. This information that has been brought forth.
Weisa.
Publia wouldn't send us somewhere if it wasn't important. And I trust your instinct.
Catryn.
Convince Griff to come with. Tell him he needs another adventure before he dies.
Nilishli.
Aye, it sounds like fun.
And I put my hand on your shoulder.
I don't know if I can leave Granny Dewshine. Not now.
Your duty states you must. And then I'll turn you, and I'm going to take off your sergeant pin, and then I'm going to pin in a centurion pin.
Oh.
Congratulations. First centurion. Merrick touched him.
Congratulations, Merrick.
Congrats.
Centurion.
Congratulations, Merrick.
Congratulations,
Your place is
Merrick.
here. And I love you.
We all do.
Well, she's gonna rub the top of his head.
I will do things for the dream.
It's all
It's you.
All course is set then, friends. I will make ready. 2 days. I'll assume at least 4. And you've become quite the navigator now.
I did have 2 months of trying to learn how to work a ship just to tell everyone to save you. All of you.
I know.
Should be fun.
Nilishli's gonna, by the way, run out the door.
Okay.
Track Griff down.
Okay. That's probably where we'll pick up next time. Did you have something ready?
I did, actually, don't.
Okay. Just slipping it in there.
Slipping right
I know,
in.
I appreciate the hustle.
There is gatherings at the common tents, and we've been having dinner a lot. I'm trying to have it with the Dewshines, I'm trying to have it with the Touch Gems, I'm trying to have it with the Fellowship, if you all wish, and of course the Quailethoners.
You've dashed out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I am a wonderful cook.
I believe you are. More than
I
enough
heard.
to find out. However, I thought
covered in bandages.
if we can part with the resources, that now might be a good time to have a common hall that travelers can come to, that people can meet up if they don't want to meet here, or if they just can't meet here. A place that we can actually house people. Something a bit better than tents.
I'm sorry to say that with so many waterwords gone, and reconstruction efforts turned towards security, it would be difficult. I'll say this. if my information is correct and there are additional waterwords coming from the Shires, then that will be the first task, Marcus.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Unless you have an objection, little brother.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you, Dominic.
We are forgetting that we are here for each other.
And that is where we will end that.
The end of the candle.
The end.
I'll give Merrick
Bye.
my bow.
Okay.
It's the only longbow that won't be strong enough for you to use.
Oh.
You're gonna have to get a bow fashion anyway, but it's a it's a nice gesture. It's a nice gesture. It's too tall.
Yeah.
It's too tall.
Way too tall.
I would have had one made.
Well, I have the other one. I have the appropriate size one already with strength and.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But still, that's a really beautiful symbol. So, faraway friends, we have arrived at a way station once more on our journey in the world of Terra. We thank you for blessing us with your support and your time and attention and intention. We really, really appreciate that as we continue to tell this tale that I think is worth the telling, certainly. And as you go about your journey, a journey of your own, and you're telling your stories of your own, stay safe out there and stay curious. Thank you so much.
Bye guys.
Bye.